This is how to grow your team from you to 2 more people, from 1 to 3. Okay, there's 5 parts. You're going to need an org chart. This is the first piece that you're going to do, and it is as simple as saying, who are the people that are going to be in my team? This is your future company. So we'll put you up here. We might have, let's call this an admin person. That might be nice to have. It might be nice to have a tradesman. It might actually also be nice to have an apprentice. Let's put another tradie in here, another qualified, and it might also be nice to leave a box of somebody unknown. That could be marketing, that could be your financial advisor, that could be your project manager, or estimating as well, which is most likely, let's call them estimating, or sales. Okay, so with your org chart here, what we are going to establish is, would it free up your time more to pick a tradesman, or hire on an admin, or hire on the apprentice? So you start to see who are the people that could be hired. Let's assume that an admin is going to be a medium price. Let's assume that the apprentice, we all know, is going to be the cheapest, and the tradesman is probably going to be the most expensive. So from basing that information, let me just pull this sheet up a little. We are then going to go, okay, well, if that then pushes on to number 2 is a financial forecast. Now, before I lose you, this is super simple. All we're going to do is go July, August, all the calendar months, and so on. And we're going to look at what our current revenue is. So say you're doing 20K per month, you anticipate that you could get to 30K, to 40K, 50K. Now, revenue targets, setting revenue targets is always a bit of a guess, but you can do the best that you can. And what we'll be able to see from this, from your financial forecast, is we'll have our gross profits, which will be on the way through. We'll have our OPEX, our operating expenses, how much it costs to keep the doors open, and we'll have our net profit as well. Now, what we want to do is plug in, so say we're getting the apprentice, we're going to put the apprentice into, we've got our cogs here, we're going to put our apprentice's value in, where it belongs in our financial forecast, and then see whether we get a green light here. And if we do, then providing we can hit those revenue targets, it's all good to get the apprentice. Now we'd do the same with a tradesman. Tradesmen's are going to go into operating, into cost of goods sold. We could do the same with the admin person as well. However, the admin person is going to go into operating expenses because they are not a revenue generating activity. All right, so how do we know whether we're going to be able to hit those revenue targets? That is a great question. That is part 3. So let's go into part 3. Our sales pipeline. So we have then said that we have got a revenue target of 30K, of 40K, and we want to understand, can we achieve these? What we will do is we'll go to our accounting software and we want to find our average job value. Now that could be, anywhere ranging from $500 to $2,500 to $15,000. But let's just say for whole figures, your accounting software tells you that your average job value is $1,000. This is how much the average job or the average invoice is worth in your company. That would then tell us that we would need to achieve 30, 40, and 50 jobs respectively. So this is our number of jobs. So then we can push back into our marketing and go, how many leads do we need in order to achieve that many jobs? See how we're starting to validate section after section in order to see whether you need what you need to do in order to be able to grow your company. All right. Now this next part is more just about good housekeeping. Because you're going to be taking people on, we need to go and start doing things properly. Now you're currently no doubt being paid in dividends. You're just taking a little bit out of the pool, and what we need to do is migrate that to pay as you go, PAYG. That's essentially pay slips. This is where you're going to start to use your Xero or your MyOb or your QuickBooks, that kind of thing. So this is just good housekeeping. What this is going to do is put your expenses, as we said earlier, into the financial forecast. This is going to place your expenses in the right positions. So they could be cost of goods sold, or they could be down in your OPEX. If you're struggling to find the answers or keep up with these terms, this is where you need to start looking at the blueprint. Everybody should know these terms. Okay, so number 4, good housekeeping. Get your pay into pay slips so that we can start reporting on numbers that actually make sense. And the final part, we haven't even spoken about arguably the most important thing, which is how are we actually going to find these people. Now, part 5, this is recruiting and onboarding. Now, the beautiful part about this is a blueprint has everything you need, from an interview checklist to a recruit checklist, how to find them, how to screen them. Then we go into our onboarding. We literally have an onboarding checklist of what to do. We have got contracts that need to be signed, and we've got the right process to bring them in. Now, the idea behind this is to make things as most efficient as possible, plus legal. But we want to make sure they're the most efficient, because that means it is saving you money. All of this information is in the blueprint, and it is 100% free. Educate yourself, gentlemen.